some toys in here.
Hey, what's up everybody? Today is the Man-Child. Okay, so today for review, gonna go over the Universe Masterverse Movie Evil-Lyn figure that starred in the 1987 Master Universe movie, and whose character was played by actress Meg Foster. So yeah, the Masterverse gave us, this is the third movie figure finally. We got He-Man, Skeletor, which both were pretty cool. The He-Man head I did get a custom for by Raymond Toys, and of course I'll bring those two in, compare with Evil-Lyn a little later. I think for the most part, she looks pretty good. The head sculpt looks something like the movie, close to where the He-Man was off, but I thought the Masterverse Skeletor looked really good like the movie, so I don't know if it's a likeness rights thing, probably is, or just the way Mattel's decided to go about it. But anyway, here's, Evil-Lyn comes in the new Masterverse style box with the limited window, but you can still see her. Some really cool art. I believe she's part of the Wave 11 series as well. And what's also neat is you can see down here in the image, we got those troopers, part of the, Skeletor troopers, I want to call them. Beastman, which is another figure that people also have been requesting the line with alongside Evil-Lyn. Now, Super 7 did make some movie-inspired figures. They were like the Williams style collection. They were awesome, but they never got to Evil-Lyn and Beastman. I remember reading in like comments and forums, people really wanted that. So we finally get one in the Masterverse line. And now here's a quick look at the art in the back of the box. So you just get a picture image of the figure itself. Looks like this Evil-Lyn comes with the translucent cosmic key now, to where the movie Skeletor came with the normal version of the cosmic key. And I think there's a Gwildor Orko 2-pack coming out soon. It's also going to have a newer version of the cosmic key from the movie. You can see the Castle Grayskull back here from the movie, and just the tourney itself, Cosmos, all that stuff going on, once again from the film. And then taking a look at these couple other images on the right-hand side. So yeah, once again, as far as accessories, just like she comes with that cosmic key and then a cape. And here's a close-up of the movie Evil-Lyn's bio, if you want to pause and read that. And here's a look at the other 4 figures as part of that Wave 11 series. And now here's some more cool art on the right-hand side of the box, looking in from the window of just Evil-Lyn, standing up in her full attire. Looks like some magic going on, and an overall look at her face design. And here's a little more art now on the left-hand side of the box. So we have the Skeletor troopers flying in on those discs, and you have Skeletor here on that flying throne when they came into Earth through the porthole in the 87 film. And now here's a quick look with Evil-Lyn, all accessories out of box. So it's pretty much all she comes with, just that cosmic key and a couple spare hands. So, taking a closer look at this new Evil-Lyn's head sculpt, articulation, headpiece, I think they did a really good job with it for Masterverse figure. Looks very close to her counterpart in the movie, I mean, somewhat, but just the way they paint, they went about sculpting, the face, coloring the eyes on the lips. Even this headpiece, now it is a separate piece, but it's, I guess, glued and, pegged to the head. It's not meant to come off without customization. But aside that, yeah, I really like this head sculpt. And here's a look from the back. And as far as the articulation, so we can just spin left to right and go down about that far. You can't go down all the way because that neck armored collar. So you can only go down about that far and back. So you're kind of really limited going back and, up and down, looking down and forward. But it can still spin all around. Aside that, yeah, I'm really liking what I see here with this head sculpt for this Masterverse Movie Evil-Lyn. So now moving down to this whole neck setup with the shoulder pads and the extended neck piece. Really good sculpting. Has some pretty neat details in there. You kind of see it's like a dark purplish color going back to like Skeletor's armor or something. But yeah, it has like little silver wash around all those individual pieces in there. Pretty good detail. Now she has 2 identical shoulder pads with snakes sculpted outwards. They're both identical on each side, and they look like they're sitting on pegs, like you could pop them off if you wanted to. Now this whole neck shoulder piece looks like it actually comes off the body by taking off the head, which I'll do in a second. Now spinning around for a minute so we can see where the shoulder pads go all the way over, how far they go down over the shoulders. Again, I have additional detail on these little ends here, painted purple. Really cool cape. I like the cape design for her. Yeah, it's a real, like a shiny black color. Awesome material, the typical Masterverse material, but it goes all the way down to her legs. So as far as the width, it's almost 3 or 4 inches wide. And there's the inside. So I like that setup they use for this Evil-Lyn figure. So to remove this armor, I'm going to pull the head off the ball peg. Now with the head removed, just a typical Masterverse female style ball peg from what I can see. And now this whole shoulder neck piece, the shoulder guards, the cape, it's all one piece. It's going to pull right off like so. And now here's a closer look at that neck shoulder piece armored setup with the cape. And we already looked at the cape. Now, these shoulder pads are technically removable, yet they're kind of snapped and glued in place. See this one? You can see there's adhesive. It's stuck. Now, this one I did break the glue. All right, and I'm going to have to put a little more adhesive to fix it, and that's what it would look like. So it is, you can remove the cape and then remove this piece off the cape if you didn't want to use it, and you would have to snap these back and glue them. At least that's how mine's set up. All right, so I'm going to leave that armor cape off the body for now. So putting the head back on, moving down. Yes, you can see that the face is really white compared to the body. Going back to the movie, it was kind of similar, I want to say. Some of these scenes were in the dark. But yeah, she has a like a pinkish skin from the neck down, the leg, legs. You can see the arms and hands. Um, Now it's pretty cool that she has these symbols all over her body. You can see that on the legs, arms, and whatnot. In the movie, she sort of wore like this skin tight mesh, full body stocking garment suit, I want to call it, and these were like symbols embedded into the suit, or yeah, as part of that suit. So that's what this is trying to represent. But now, just because of how this figure was assembled in the factory, she has it on the bicep, as you can see here, on the upper chest, and then going down the legs. See, it goes all the way down the legs like this into the down to the boots. But then when you get to the sections of like the knees, stuff up by the shoulders, which you don't normally see anyway. Yeah, there's no patterns, so it's almost like parts of this figure, these were printed, and then the knees went on later, and they didn't finish the print or even bother with it. I'm a little disappointed about that because it doesn't, going back to the film, I don't know, it just doesn't look uniform. It's not the worst thing. It could work for this figure, but anyway. So going back up to the chest, so she has like this piece of chain going to this other part of the armor. It's all part of the sculpt on the body and painted. Yeah, really cool armor. Again, this is all sculpted to the, I think it is. No, this is separate. All this is separate, but it's glued onto the body. But those symbols that are on the body, they're really well done. I don't know if they're like transfer slide stickers or paint. It's like some kind of sticker maybe all over the body. So as far as their arm articulation with Evil-Lyn with her armored off, we can go up, down, move, go forward, back. She has a bicep swiveler cut. Can bend all the way up the face like this. The other arm's all the same. She comes with two semi-weapon gripping hands, I always call them. And they can spin, and let's see, are they in hinge joint? Yeah, they go in and out on hinge joints, both of these, looks like, in my figure. She has two identical, right? Yeah, identical wrist gauntlets here. Really cool detail and sculpt. Just two different shades of paint. Obviously, the outside to match this armor in this purplish color. And check that out, it's like a cobra. You can see that cobra snake sticking out on each end. That's pretty neat. Just notice that. Now, these are also separate pieces, but they're also, once again, they're glued or pegged to the arms. They're not going to come off with a customization. And if you remove them, I have a feeling there's peg holes in there, and then they just have some sculpt, like the bands going around each side. Purple, painted in a purple color, match this and all the other purple colors this figure has. So moving down to the hips and waist, so she has this, rubber dress piece that's it's its own thing. It is flexible, can pull up from the back. Has some pretty neat designs in it. You see two different shades or patterns going there. Again, it has a piece of chain that's looks like its own. I don't know if it's sculpted. Yeah, it kind of looks like something like this individual little chain that's almost glued to this dress and stops there. She has that plate symbol. This is also a separate piece, but yet glued to this dress. And then, of course, the dress goes up to the body. Now, this is all part of the sculpt on the upper body. Once again, they painted it to match this lower piece. And now, taking a look at the waist and hip articulation. So even with this armored piece, she can still spin back and forth. You can see that, where a lot of the female Masterverse usually can't. They don't have that cut in there because of the type of dresses they wear, where she has like an open dress, a skirt piece, you want to call it. Now, she can also spin, I think, inside at the... Okay, so she does have articulation inside the waist, once again, which most of the female characters have. And as far as the articulation, she can go out and do a full split like this. All right, she can kick forward about that far. Go about that far back. She has that thigh cut. And of course, as you spin it, you break this pattern. She can bend all the way up at the knee. Knees are really tight in this figure. Like this, okay. Okay, so we said the thigh cut. Then moving down. I like these boots. Pretty cool. Nice design. You can just see the sculpting and the extra paint. There's so it has like a brown cap, and then all the little spines or spikes are painted silver, and so was the top and then the plating around it. And so these boots can come off too if you want to change them out with Tila or another sorcerer if you wanted to. You usually heat them up. And then, of course, the foot and go up and down, and that will rock side to side. And now taking a closer look at the legs for a second. So once again, you can see those patterns, as I already mentioned at the beginning of the video. Just how to roll the printed design over the leg to go all the way up to the hips, it looks like. I don't see anything on the side, the lower leg part. But once again, the knees, yeah, it's just like these were added later or something, and they didn't bring the pattern down. Yeah, that kind of bothers me. I mean, not the worst thing in the world. I wish they would have did that. But they do go all the way down to the boot. Or I guess where the peg would go down to the boot. And oh, these boots spin, by the way. I didn't mention that as well. And they can come off, as I already said. But yeah, I just wanted to take a closer look at the pattern on the legs. So as far as accessories, this movie Evil-Lyn comes with spare pair of hands. I call them spell casting hands. You can see those. And they have hinge joints that can go in or out on both sides. And these are the like Motu Origin style pegs. And then for the last accessory, she comes with a translucent cosmic key. So it does have a strap. Not that she has a belt that can hold it like Skeletor did. Yeah, it's all closed up. I guess it's firing up from what I remember in the movie where it started going to this glowing effect, right, or energizing up. Good sculpting. You know, again, little forks aren't out. And that Gwildor coming out with the Orca 2-pack looks like it comes with the version with all the forks out. And this is molded in like a translucent blue color, I want to say. It has a lot of like glittery sparkles in it. And then I guess to hold this, you would just use the semi-weapon gripping hands. Doesn't matter what side. And I guess you could put the strap, push inside the hand so she can hold it like that. And the other option to hold that cosmic key is you can remove one of these hands. And now I'm going to put one of these spell casting or open hands in. Let's put it on the left side. And of course, this hand can spin, as I said, and hinge joint goes in and out. And what's neat too is she does have some of that pattern on these hands as well. I kind of missed that. And then she can kind of hold it something like that. So one of the gripping hands will grab the strap, and then that spell casting open hand, she can hold it from the bottom. It's kind of hard to set up and get it just right and to mess around with it, but that's how it's showing it on the back of the box if you want to display it that way. Alright, so before I move on to some comparisons and mixing and matching of parts, because that's what I plan to do with this Evil-Lyn with the other Evil-Lyns we have out now in the Masterverse line, couple things. So going back to this cape and shoulder armor setup, as I said, I already glued this piece down, so they're sort of like you can pull them up and, you know, there's a peg, but it's kind of not meant to be removed. If you wanted to take this cape off and just use this armor piece, or put a different cape on if you had it, you're going to have to pull and snap these, take your cape off, put one with holes or make holes, put it back, and then put these ends and clip them down. I just put some crazy glue in, but for the most part, they're not meant to come off, but that's what I had to do to repair this cape again. And now the second thing I wanted to bring up, so we got Evil-Lyn, like removed the head, obviously. Check this out. She has a crack going across the back of the neck. So that's another QC issue. So I'm going to have to be very careful with changing heads out with this figure. I did use a blow dry to remove the head. And even then, I got that small crack. And to add to that, right, this is the Sorceress Tila figure. I reviewed her. You can go check it out. I had the same issue with her as I started popping the heads off. Matter of fact, in my video, I wanted to change out some Tila heads with her. That's kind of what I do. I couldn't do it with this figure. The neck actually busted and cracked all over the place. I glued it. You know, I still have the articulation somewhat. It can work. You don't see it unless, you know, you're looking down at it. I showed you. And I do have a second one card, you know, so I'm going to leave that one card. But you got to be very careful with these new female figures because I see QC issues in the neck pieces for some reason. Like it's too thin or it's just how it was made in the factory, too fragile or something. Okay, so I put Evil-Lyn's cape back on. I just put the cosmic key in the hand on the right side, holding it for now. As far as comparisons, I brought in the movie Skeletor. That was also part of the Masterverse line. Of course, the Masterverse movie-inspired He-Man or the Dolph Lundgren He-Man. So that's all three of those together. Look really cool. I think they did a really good job on Skeletor with his face sculpt and just the overall design. Now you can see Skeletor on his belt also has the same exact cosmic key, but in the original color before it's energized like Evil-Lyn does, but they're the same ones. And as far as the movie He-Man, I have a Raymond Toys head on that body now. You know, their head was a little, I don't know, I didn't hate it, but once I got access to a couple different heads, I tried. I like this one the best. I did try that Super 7 William Stout one. I had a spare one. That looked good, but the paint was off. But that really touched up that He-Man. Anyway, I think it's pretty cool that the Masterverse line is jumping into the movie figures, and it's neat to see all three of those together. And now, moving forward with some Evil-Lyn comparisons as part of the Masterverse line. So, of course, we have our new movie-inspired Evil-Lyn next to the first release Revalation Evil-Lyn. Of course, I have the alternative head on. It's just the head she came with. Yeah, they look cool together. I know they could both work, but as far as part swapping, I'm just going to see what I can do with the two heads. Now, you can change the boots and stuff around. I think the pegs are the same, but I'm not going to get involved in that. But my biggest thing is I want to see how the heads work, and I might be able to put her cape on this body, on this Evil-Lyn. And now, here's a quick look with the first release alternative Evil-Lyn head with the white long hair on, obviously, the movie body. Looks kind of cool and can work. I'm going to leave the cape on. I also put her long staff and the weapon grip in hand for now. Now I just drew that first release, Evil-Lyn, iconic head-on, the movie body. So once again, yeah, pretty cool. Could work. And now going back to that first release, Revalation Evil-Lyn body. Of course, I just put the movie Evil-Lyn head on that body. It's okay, but it's because its skin color is so white and his body's so just tan. Kind of looks a little bit funny. Now I couldn't get the cape and neck piece on because of this collar setup. You could if you modified it. Might make it look better and blend in. She has this piece, it's glued on my figure, but if you want to put the head on a body, mix it up, I guess it kind of worked. Of course, put the Cosmic Key in hand. And now, here's a comparison, once again, between a movie Evil-Lyn and the Dark, or I call her God-Lyn. Yeah, she's much bigger, obviously, and I don't even think it's worth switch parts between these two. I mean, her head, just the colors are just so off. Again, it works really well for this strange pinkish hue she has in the skin, or that suit, in the way her armored is in the movie, but I don't think anything's going to work with Dark Lyn. Plus, Dark Lyn has all these, like this gold spike piece. It's kind of glued into the chest, so I can't remove that to try to cape on. And if you spin them around, she has her own cape, but it's sort of Velcroed on this arm, this other back piece. It's also pegged and glued into her back, so I don't think that's even worth doing anything. It is a cool cape. And as far as Dark Lyn's accessories, she came with a couple of these energy blasting effects. So I'm going to bring this in because this might work good on the movie Evil-Lyn spell casting or open hand. And now here's a look at one of those energy effects. Just put it once again on her left hand. She did come with two, but I think one looks cool. And now for the last comparison, once again, we have our new movie Evil-Lyn against our Skella Sorceress, or I think it was Evil-Lyn Sorceress figure. So you kind of see those two together. Let's see what I can do with the heads, and I think this fur piece and her cape, and mix it between the two. And now here's a look with the Skella Sorceress body. And of course I put that movie Evil-Lyn head on left. That fur piece, plastic fur piece, and the cape on with this figure. And that can actually work because of all her mixed tones. You want to use that head on this body. And now here's a look with the same body, but I just put the movie Evil-Lyn's armored cape and kept the head on. So you can take a look at that. And that looks pretty cool once again on that body because just all the mixture and colors and stuff. And now I just took the movie Evil-Lyn's head off and put the original head back on this body, but with that cape and armored from the movie Evil-Lyn. And yeah, it gives her a whole other look if you didn't want to use this setup. And now bringing that movie Evil-Lyn body back in, so I just drew her cape and armored on, and then put the Skella Sorceress head on that body and the short staff in hand. Yeah, once again, because just that body and how everything's mixed with the head, it could work. It looks pretty cool. And now I took that Skelly Sorceress Batwing cape off that figure and put it on the movie Evil-Lyn body and kept her head on. Try to adjust it. You know, you got to mess around with this, but if you wanted a different setup with the cape, you can use this, and yeah, it'll work, and again, could look cool. Now I just drew the Skella Sorceress head back on the movie body and left her cape on, and that works better because of the this whole bat hood setup kind of locks in with this plastic fur piece and holds it better. Okay, so that was my overall review on a new Universe Masterverse Movie Evil-Lyn figure, movie-inspired Evil-Lyn figure. Overall, I think it's cool to finally see a movie Evil-Lyn as part of the Masterverse toy line. They did a pretty good job with her for as far as Masterverse. I wish the Classics would have came out one. Probably would have had better detail, especially if the Super 7 did it. But, the line did end. You got to, again, be careful of that neck peg back there. It's really not in good shape. Now, I did do a lot of head change-outs, as you've seen in the review. And I didn't have any issues. It seemed to hold together so far, but it is weak. I use a blow dryer, too, to heat up every head off camera. I like the overall paint, the cape. The symbols are really cool, too, as part of this, I guess, bodysuit. But again, parts in the knees and sections, I guess, around the arms and shoulders, which you don't see anyway. It's just like, yeah, they missed them, I guess there were parts that went in later and didn't bring them down and go over. That a little bit disappointing to me. But again, there's ways you could copy this, and if you had translucent paper, kind of make your own, I guess, stickers and put them on the knees. I've seen that done before. This Cosmic Key in a translucent color is really neat. I'm a sucker for like yeah, translucent figures or accessories. So it's cool you get that. Side that, you know, it's yeah, I'm glad to have her in her line. Did a pretty good job with her. So I appreciate everybody watching. Until next time, take care.